Here we have the Lenovo IdeaPad Gaming 3. Now this is a gaming laptop more centered for budget users. So let's find out what this laptop is all about. I'm going to compare it to some of the other gaming laptops in its class. And we'll see how games it performs with real life tasks and how it performs on benchmarks. I've reviewed a couple of laptops in its class, and most laptops have a very similar design to the IdeaPad Gaming 3, with one exception, the Legion 5, which is out of its class. But I like this design more than the Legion 5's design. Now, this design feels more premium due to it having two aluminum sheets, one on the back of the laptop on the lid, and one under your palms and the keyboard, which just makes the laptop feel more premium. The IdeaPad Gaming 3 also has a very nice keyboard, which is almost the same as the Lenovo Legion 5's keyboard. I've typed up some documents to see how this keyboard behaves, and it's a pretty nice keyboard for its price. The power button is in the same location as the Legion 5, it's up above the keyboard. Overall, it's a well-rounded keyboard. Now, it also has a 15-inch screen. Now, this is how it differs from the Lenovo Legion 5, since this is a 120 Hz refresh rate screen, which is pretty good, but the Lenovo Legion 5 has a 144 Hz refresh rate screen, which is just above this. Now, obviously, both of them can run games pretty well, and you won't see a huge difference. But if it's a lower grade game where the laptop can run it at 144 frames per second, you're going to notice a difference. The trackpad is also very comparable to the Legion 5, and it's a very nice sized trackpad. It's very responsive, and it's nice to navigate around Windows with it. I also tested the speakers, which are nothing extra. They're perfect for listening to music or watching videos. So I recorded an audio sample, and here's how it sounds. So we looked at the port selection also on this laptop, and it's quite extensive. Now, it has two USBs and a headphone jack on the right side, and on the left side it has the charging port, an Ethernet port, an HDMI port, and a USB-C port. So it definitely has a nice port selection. However, it's not as extensive as some of the other laptops in its class. So looking at battery life, it's not the best, obviously. Most of these high-performing laptops have lower grade battery lives, especially when using high-performance games. So I did some tests, and when they were unplugged and I played on battery, I was able to play for around 120 minutes, depending on the game. I played Fortnite, and then it just shut off. Obviously, we saw some performance differences, which I'm going to talk about later on in the performance section of this video. And after draining the laptop, I was able to charge it up with its 135 watt charger in around 2.5 hours, which is not bad for its charger. Now, the performance, as I mentioned before, is decreased when using battery power to power your games. So I did a Geekbench score for the CPU and GPU, and I saw huge differences. So this is a Ryzen 5 5000 series AMD processor, and the single core score with the laptop being plugged in is around 1300. Once I unplug the computer, it's closer to 830, which is a huge performance drop. Now, I also encountered this with the GPU. From 60,000 it dropped down to around 50,000 to 40,000, and this just shows how much it means to have the laptop plugged in versus having it unplugged. So it has an NVIDIA RTX 3050 graphics card, which can run all the games I've tested pretty well. And it also has 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. Now, I tested games with this spec, and most of the games I tested, like Forza Horizon 5 GTA, ran pretty well. Now, I set all the high settings for Forza Horizon 5, and I was able to achieve around 40 FPS constantly, which is not bad performance for this laptop. But as I mentioned before, I'm gonna have a full review of the gaming performance on this laptop, so definitely check that out. Now, I also tested some creative tasks and it performed very well. Now, I started this off with Blender, and with Blender I did a test of exporting a high grade project, and it was able to export this in about 10 minutes. Now, this is a pretty good performance. I did a test with a 3060 graphics card and it got around 9 minutes. So it's about a minute difference, and it's still a great performance. Now, after Blender, I tested out video editing and I loaded up a 15-minute project, and scrubbing through the timeline was very smooth. And when I hit export, it exported it around in 2 minutes. It was not a huge project, so this was the expected performance, and it performed very well with this project. Now, after video editing, I tested out photo editing. I loaded up a project and it was very smooth to edit, and once I exported, it exported immediately. I was not working with any very high quality project, but it performed very well on that. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and have a great day.